Call to order the December 10th meeting of the City of Columbiana Planning Commission. We'll start with an invocation by Deanne, and then we'll all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Lord, we thank you for the privilege to live in your presence and to work with you to build a better community. Help us to do right, to deal fairly with all of our citizens, and give us the faith and courage to put our trust in you. In your name we pray. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God.
Would you call a roll, please?
Scott?
Here.
Bobby?
Here.
Ted?
Here.
Jeff?
Here.
Rick?
Here.
Mark?
Here.
You all received a copy of the November 12th, 2024 minutes. Is there any additions or corrections to those? If not, they'll stand as presented. There is no old business, so we'll move right into new business. First item is a site plan review, Tyler Hogan, 35 North Main Street for Edward Jones. Hello.
Hello, how are you guys?
Good.
Good. My name is actually Austin Hogan, but I am here to present on behalf of Todd. All we are looking to do is move the current Edward Jones office, our business that is on 1 South Main, to the building there on 35 North Main.
Which is the old
The old
Bank.
Chase Bank, yes.
Any questions from the board?
When are you planning on making that move?
Not until next year, probably around April, what we're looking at right now.
April 26th.
25, I'm sorry. 2025.
Oh, okay.
Somebody like to make a motion on this?
Well, I would just say that I think it's a real smart move on your father and your part. And it just kind of fits the mold within Edward Jones
Yes, thank you.
site, so I'll make a motion, we accept the site plan review as submitted. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Deanne, when you're ready.
Scott?
Yes.
Bobby?
Yes.
Ted?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Go right ahead.
Thank
You're
you.
good to go. Next item is a replat, Charles Zidian, 303 Prestwick Court. Like. Hi there.
Hello there. Good evening.
So what are we doing here?
We're replatting the property at the end of Prestwick Court, and we're replatting them into individual lots and building single-family dwellings there.
Well, how are we gonna do that without landlocking? Property?
Which property?
Well, how? What are you, do you have a Mylar or a map that shows your divisions?
Well, we're continuing, the road's already there. We're not doing anything. That's not already physically there. The road's already there. I don't know if you're familiar with the location, but
You're just creating one lot?
we're creating, well, there's actually gonna be three, possibly 4 lots, single family lots. There's a structure going on the property to the would be the south right now, which technically will be address 303. when we first came in and, Dr. Patani, when he was purchasing the property, we looked at the land and at that time, Mr. Cerrone August was the zoning inspector and he, told us that the property, what it was zoned, what you can do with it. I believe it was stage 3 or, may not be
It's
used.
R3.
R3, so you can go single family, duplex or multi on it. And our intentions from the beginning was to do single family. So then we entered into an agreement with Mr. Brennan, who was the owner, previous owner. And, we looked at the docs and the declarations and there's an easement for that road. It's an easement of perpetuality. It's a private road. In that, Prestwood Court will maintain and stay a private road, which will be maintained by the people that live there. And that, we knew that going in, that was never an issue to us. And then Dr. Patante is actually building his own personal residence on that one parcel, which he is going to replot that as well. Right now, it's just all one piece. But this lot that we're replatting right now is going to be, will be technically, I think it'll be, I think 606 will be the ending address. Might be 505, not really sure. Just based on what Mr. Cerrone had given me at the time for the way those lots were situated. So, this was I thought this was submitted to the, I thought Bryce had submitted this, but this is the copy of the lot. That's being farmed off. Yeah,
This?
yeah, you know.
Okay, so what,
This is a single lot subdivision.
Right.
this lot right here is what we're plotting off, this
Right,
lot,
that-
this front lot.
Correct.
We're not doing anything back here yet.
Not yet.
Okay,
Correct.
okay. You follow that, Mark?
No, which lot is being split? Creating parcel 1.
It's the one that's noted on there.
The one that says parcel 1.
0.417 acres of the 2.7. Let me see if I can.
If I may, you want me to come over? I can.
Yeah, you can.
Sure.
Unfortunately, on a laptop, it's.
Yeah, so it's actually this parcel right here.
Okay.
That was actually surveyed and saved as a parcel law.
Nothing to do with it. So right now, it's part of.
It's part of all this.
They have. Okay. So you're just building in.
Right, is that your understanding, parcel
Prestwick
1?
is right through here.
This is.
Yeah.
And the home that's being built is right based on all the.
No. No.
Okay,
And that's gonna be a lot. He's
And
gonna
then
plot
this
that.
is nothing. and
It's
This
from
is,
some time.
this is,
okay.
Designate that off, and then there'll be an additional lot, so we'll come back.
Back in there.
Yeah, the one right there.
Parcel 1,
Okay.
phase 1.
Thanks.
Okay.
there, the house being built there.
This is the house. So basically, this comes to that one.
Yeah,
The one lot, parcel 1.
yeah. You come to split off this parcel number 1 off of
Correct.
it, off of this.
That's
acreage.
correct, right?
Okay.
And it's not landlocked.
No, it's on the
It's
street.
on the street.
We'll be seeing more plating for the.
Yes,
construction that's
hopefully.
ongoing Right now.
Yeah,
Okay. We were kind of confused.
that's okay.
Charles, the only question I'm gonna have, and it's really beyond planning commission, but since I know a little bit about real estate. If this were Mahoning County, you'd be giving me a replat right now, showing me everything that would have been done by the surveyor. I'm not sure what the tax map department in Columbiana County is gonna require. Have you checked
Yeah.
with them?
Well, that's actually what I take the tax map, what you have there.
Okay.
That Mylar for that I have.
Yeah.
Actually, what you have there, I take that and they record that at the tax map.
Okay,
And then that's put on record.
And this should have technically been signed by planning commission.
yeah.
Correct. It has
Yeah.
to be first before I can proceed to that
You
point.
don't have that here today, though?
Did you
No.
bring the Mylar?
I do not have the Mylar, no.
Yeah, we'll need the Mylar, and once we sign off on the Mylar, you'll
Yeah.
be able to get that recorded tax map. We'll
Correct.
approve that, but
Correct.
they need us to sign off.
Right.
So we need the Mylar to be able to.
I
sign.
really didn't know who to pass the Mylar off to.
I get
mean,
that.
no disrespect, I just didn't
It's fine.
know, but I mean,
If you
just
get
tell
it
me,
to Bryce, we'll get it
give it to
signed.
Bryce, I can
Yeah.
do that, no problem. I can do that in the morning, actually.
Yeah, we'll get it signed for you then.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a notary in the office, so feel free to bring it
Oh,
in and
there he is right
we
there.
can take care of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody like to make a motion on this?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to, accept parcel one as platted.
We have a motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Deanne, if you would, please.
Bobby,
Yes.
Ted,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Good to go.
Very good.
Get the
Thank you.
Mylar to
Thank you,
Bryce and
gentlemen.
we'll get it signed for you.
Okay, Merry Christmas.
Same to you. Well, the next item is a public hearing at 7:15, so we've got 4.5 minutes to kill.
Oh, that's right. They're all, there are public meetings saying to take something next, but they're all public.
They all-
hearings.
yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Well,
Never mind.
the site plan review is after the public hearing though, for the
Yeah,
same
it
items,
is.
so we can't really
No.
juggle.
No. You're right.
You can do that. Yeah, that'll work. Sure. Sure, yeah, we can do all that and then we'll. Okay, well, okay, that'll work. So tell us who you are.
Thank you. My name is Diane Calta, and I work with, I'm an attorney with Mansur Gavin, and I'm Land Development Counsel with Sheets. And we're here today with our team, and we have Brian Rushi, who is the project engineer with Sheets. We have HC Phones, who is a site selector. He never lets me tell you his big title, but he's a site selector. Then we have Jonathan Racheski. Did I get it right? He is with Gateway Engineers, and he's the consulting project and civil engineer for this project. And then we also have Josh Haydu with Worcester Associates. He's our traffic engineer.
Okay,
Okay, and I just wanted to give it just a high level overview of, we're here tonight, we'll have our hearing on the conditional use. And we also have a site plan review and we have a variance for signs. So, we'll be here with you for a little bit.
that's okay. We'll get it done tonight.
So those are the three things that we'll be talking about. What Sheets is proposing is the construction of around a 6,000 square foot convenience store with drive-through services and then what they call the newest generation single wing canopy. So if you're familiar with the Sheets store, I drove in past Canfield and there's a Sheets store there. The canopy will look very, very different. It's a new generation canopy that we'll show you tonight and you can see. But if you have, or if you're familiar with any newer Sheet stores, that's what the canopy will look like. And we'll have 6 fuel pump islands, and this is going to be at the intersection. I'm sure you have all the materials, State Route 7 and State Route 14. Just to give you a little bit more background on Sheets, this is a multi-million-dollar investment for them. They will create approximately 3 dozen jobs, and those are often split, between full-time and part-time positions. And if they are able to get approvals, they would be looking to start construction very quickly, and that would be maybe early spring and of 2025, with an opening somewhere in September-ish of 2025. Those are just some estimates, but it gives you an idea of what their construction timeline is. I always like to tell you a little bit about Sheets. It's a family-owned business. It started back in the 50s, and it started out where Bob Sheets purchased some dairy stores. So it's evolved over the years and has evolved to employ about 25,000 people. They have approximately 700 stores. So they have a lot of data and a lot of information on their stores. So when they do come in and build a new store, they have all of that information to use as far as drive aisles and access points and heights and lights and security and fuel, when the fuel trucks come in and deliver fuel and things like that. Their stores are in central and western Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Maryland, Ohio, Michigan, Virginia, and North Carolina. And they're constantly adding, so I might have missed a place, but that gives you kind of an idea of what they do and where they do it. The property we're talking about is currently zoned C4, and this is what I call a conditionally permitted use. So it's permitted if we meet all of those conditions.
Well, let's do that right now.
Okay, so that was my segue
Perfect,
into.
perfect time.
Great. I'm going to stick to the conditionally permitted part, but that does sometimes overlap with the site plan. So we were going to keep them separate, but if you have questions on the site plan, we can jump into that and we can start going through that with you.
Okay.
But generally speaking.
Okay, point of order. First of all, could you state your last, or spell your last name, please?
Oh, sure. Calta, and that is CALTA.
CALTA? Okay.
Yes.
And our chair has to open your public hearing.
Okay.
before-
Yeah.
There was,
Yeah. So, next item of business, a public hearing for conditional zoning certificate application for Firestone Crossing LLC, 44952 State Route 14, Sheets Incorporated. Do I have a motion to open? We need a motion for that, Dan.
We don't need a motion.
Okay.
You can just open it.
All right, now we can start.
Okay, thank you. You don't need me to introduce myself again in the team. You've got that all
Yeah,
on the
we got it.
record.
We're
Okay,
Good.
all right. So if we jump right into the conditional use application, in your materials, you should have a letter from Jonathan. It says Gateway Engineers on top and says conditional use application. And in that, Jonathan went through each of your code provisions, and those set out the general and specific requirements for this use as a gasoline service station. This will not have any automotive repairs, just so you know. There's no car wash, there's no automotive repairs. And my understanding is that this location was previously used as an automotive service station. So it's going to be very, similar use than it was used in the past. One thing I always like to point out about, well, it'll look very different, I think.
Yeah.
And that's what I was gonna
It'll
get
be,
to.
it'll be very different, trust me.
And I will take your word on that, but Sheets is very focused on being able to develop their sites and having all of their requirements met. So this site is, correct me if I'm wrong, around 2.5 acres. So it's a large site and can accommodate and address all of the requirements in your code. So we think that this is a location that fits this use, and because it's a commercial retail area, it will be, meet all of it'll be harmonious and meet all of the general objectives and the specific objectives of your code. So that from a high level, the conditional uses, I've always looked at them as you get to take a second look to see, hey, does this really fit there? What do we have that it's adjacent to? What do we have that maybe it's not adjacent to, but across the road? Are we going to have traffic issues? This site will have 3 points of access and should not have any concerns with access in the site as well for cars and for pedestrians. Parking is ample. And when we get into the specifics of the site plan, we can point all of those things out to you. But it will have direct access to State Route 14 and 7. It will have connections to public utilities. It will have underground stormwater management facilities to control stormwater runoff. And we have regular trash pickup. And I mentioned there's 3 access points on the adjacent roads. And those have all been designed to the standards of best engineering practices, and also to have the ability for our trucks to maneuver into the site and around the site to deliver, whether it's goods or fuel. On the specific sections of your code, we were able to meet all of the required front yard setbacks, the proposed canopy setback, from the street right of way. I already mentioned that there's no car wash, there's no automotive mechanical repairs or anything like that going on. The lighting and the signage will be placed and provided in accordance with your zoning code. We are asking for one, I consider it a small variance, which is for the number of signs. And again, we'll get into that later, when we address specifically the signs. But you'll see that those are generally, they are standard signs, and they are for purposes of moving people into the site, out of the site safely, efficiently, and so that they know where they're going and what they, the directions that they can go. What else can I tell you? We are able to have the curbs that you're requiring. Employee parking will be designated outside of the required 50-foot setback areas. We have trash enclosures that are proposed on the northwest corner of the site. They'll be within an enclosure consisting of black walls and a swinging gate. And then we have landscaping. And then there's a couple things that don't apply again because we're not doing anything with any sort of rental trailers or outdoor storage on the property. So from the standpoint of the conditional use, we have been able to meet all of the provisions of your code. And if you have any questions, I can try and answer them, or someone from our team.
Board have
can
any
address them.
questions here, or anybody have any questions? It is a public hearing, so anybody in the public has an option to speak. Well, I will say that this is very thorough, saved me a lot of work. I appreciate
And
it.
that's Jonathan's work, so you're welcome.
I'll echo that. I'll thank Jonathan because looking at this, it's very well done and you've answered every single requirement. Thanks.
Can you speak to your landscaping and how that fits in? Can you make any comments about what you plan to do specifically to give some green space?
And I think that's going to be Jonathan. That's one of the advantages of having a larger site, though. It does give you those, that flexibility.
Good evening, Jonathan Garcheski with Gateway Engineers. So just to review the landscaping amenities for the proposed store, all designed in accordance with the city's requirements. Again, just to orient with the site, 7 and 14. And then the store will be generally located in the center of this parcel, 2.5 acres, as was previously mentioned. The view canopy will face State Route 7 on this side of the property. And then this will have a drive-through component, so the drive-through order point will be located to the north of the site, and then you'll be able to pull up along this west side of the building and pick up the pickup window located right here. From a landscape perspective, the site does sit off of State Route 14 and State Route 7, so it's not immediately up front of that intersection. So there will be a lot of green space. Basically, everything that's in green will be planted with grass or with sod. And then we'll have this will be the location of the pylon sign, the sheet sign. So that'll be landscaped with low-lying vegetation there. And then to protect shining of lights and block the vehicles that are parked in the lot, we'll have a row of shrubs along the frontage of this parking lot, along the edge of this parking lot, and then the previously mentioned landscaping at the trash enclosure, as well as blocking the drive-through order point in that location right there, as well as some vegetation around the store itself.
Thank you.
Jonathan. Yes. Your drive-through service is on the west side.
Yes.
That's just in reference to your MTO offerings, correct?
Correct. Yeah. Basically, you can order anything.
You're not partnering with any other food?
No, it's all interior street services. So anything that you could purchase walking in the store, you could purchase directly through the order drive-through point. Yep.
Thank you.
So now I need to close the public hearing, right, Dan?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to close this public hearing for Sheets. And then we'll move into the site plan review for the same.
Thank you. I am going to turn this over to Jonathan to walk you through the site plan.
Okay,
That would be appropriate at this point.
Talking about the rendering that I just reviewed, you do have a copy of the full land development plan set. Kind of briefly went through the layout once already. A couple of other items to point out. Underground storage tanks for the fuel will be located in this location right here. Mentioned the drive-through. Stormwater management is going to consist of an underground storage system that will be located in this location right here. The access points, as previously mentioned, it'll be a right in, right out of State Route 7 on the north end of the site. A dive in, right in only, coming in through the intersections, coming into the site. And then this will be a full shared access for the Sheath development and then future development if and when that does occur in the future. That will be a full access intersection or driveway right here, allowing all turning movements in this location. Go back to the signal or come west into town. As previously mentioned, trash enclosure is located right there. That's the drive-through. We're showing 45 parking spaces. It's roughly 3 or 4 spaces over the requirement. So we're meeting the code on that item. And lighting is in accordance with the city's ordinances. Sanitary sewer and stormwater management will discharge to existing public systems located in the general location over here, right beside the Dairy Queen, and tie to the public, and then discharge into this nearby stream, and then continue on in the city system itself. But yeah, with that, that's the site plan. If you have any questions related to that.
John, no connection to the DQ.
No, nothing's proposed. So actually, the DQ is like off the page over here.
Yeah.
So we're not connected to that at all.
I was gonna say, there's a little room in there.
Yes, yeah. Probably another 1.5 to 2 acres will be
Okay.
available over there.
But there'll be no access to DQ from your.
No, there will be not.
Okay.
No.
I understand. Thank you.
I think working with Howes and Baird about surface runoff. and-
Yes, sir. Yep,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely. We've made a full submission of everything that you have. We submitted to them. We received some preliminary comments from John today. He's still continuing on with his technical review of everything.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions?
I do have copies of the building elevations if you'd like to see those and. You got them.
We got it.
You got them all as well, so.
Yeah, we got them.
Okay, perfect.
Any other questions from the board?
Lighting, just curious.
Mhm.
So you're saying in accordance with code, so basically the lighting, because the question sometimes people always come in and ask this board is the lighting going to be obnoxious? Is it going to be visible here? Is it going to be visible, very far away? So how do you answer that?
Yeah, so everything will be downlit and then it'll all be back shielded. So, I mean, obviously the canopy will be the brightest thing, and that's just more or less protection of vehicles and pedestrians in and coming in and out. It's the nature of the business. It needs to be well lit.
Right.
So it's open 24/7. And so, I mean, it'll be minimized as much as possible, but again, meet the requirements of both the user as well as the requirements of the city itself.
Okay, thanks.
I think generally we don't like the light to be intrusive on the neighbor, especially if it's a residential neighbor. But I think most of the property around you is a commercial property.
Correct.
What kind of timeline are you looking at? for this construction?
Yeah, so potentially, if all goes well, starting construction in the early spring, with completion in, late summer, early fall of 2025.
Any other questions? Somebody like to make a motion?
Make a motion to approve the site plan as presented by Firestone Crossings LLC.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. When you're ready, Deanne?
Ted,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes,
Scott,
Yes.
Bobby,
Yes.
Okay, the next item at 7:25, we were going to start a public hearing on the sign variance application for Firestone Crossing LLC, 44952 State Route 14 Sheets Incorporated. So we will start that at 7:30. Go ahead.
Okay, we will roll through those signs for you. According to your code, 4 signs are permitted. We are looking for 9 signs. So we're asking for an additional 5 signs. And Jonathan, if you want to just point all of those out.
Here are the architectural building elevations. Signs are generally located at the entrance. There's one located right here. One located right there on that page. And then the made to order MPO sign, one of those.
point of order, Mr. Chair. It was just brought to my attention, there was not a vote on the conditional zoning certificate application.
No. You can vote on that right now if you want, and it might kind of make sense if you do, because you're going to the sign variance and you've already given approval on the site plan preliminarily.
So we should vote on the conditional zoning?
I
Okay,
think so.
well, let us do our,
Stay tuned right there.
Yeah.
Stay right there.
sit tight. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a
the con-
motion to approve the conditional zoning certificate application by Firestone Crossing LLC.
Second,
I have a motion and a second.
Bobby side.
Bobby seconded it, yes. I want to hear it again.
Jeff,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Bobby,
Yes.
Ted,
Yes. Okay, we got that out of the way.
Thank you.
Okay, back to your side.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, so the 1, 2, 3 signs on the building in these 2 elevations. And then the 4 and 5, the 24/7 drive-through sign on that one. That's 5.
Canopy.
And then 3 on the canopy, so those will be the side facing State Route 7, will have the Sheets logo, and then either end cap, the northern and southern end of the canopy itself will have the Sheets sign. And then the 9th sign will be the State Route 9, which was previously mentioned will be located at the intersection, State Route 14 and 7.
Anybody got any questions? We kind of understand that our sign ordinance is kind of archaic.
You're not alone. Don't feel like it's just you. You're not alone.
I'll say this, I took a ride today, we obviously, there's several sheets floating in the area. I took a ride today to specifically look at the signage, and there's no imposition for anybody's, no detrimental effect. Have a few extra signs the way they have them strategically placed.
Just like drug money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was-
Yeah,
yeah.
It's on the building. That's where that works better.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was our public hearing for signs, so we need to vote on that public hearing. On that variance. So somebody like to make a motion to accept the,
I make a
are
motion
you
to
closing
approve.
the hearing first?
Oh, yeah.
you want me to close the hearing first?
Include that.
Let me close the hearing first. Okay, at this time, I will close the public hearing for the sign variance application for Firestone Crossing LLC. Now.
Now we're ready for a motion.
Now I'll make a motion to approve the sign variance request by Sheets that they presented here.
Okay,
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. When you're ready, Deanne.
Rick,
Yes.
Scott, Bobby,
Yes.
Ted,
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Good to go.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Like I said, you made our job very easy up here. So our next item is a public hearing for conditional zoning application TLX Properties LLC, 625 Springfield Road, Law Office. So at this time, I'd like to open the public hearing for this. Is he here? Okay.
My name's Tom Rodfong, and that's spelled Rodfong. I'm an attorney and my office is currently located in Boardman, and I'm looking to relocate an office here in Columbiana, probably sometime next year. And that location on Springfield Road is an R1 district, so I applied for a conditional use certificate based on the fact that it will be a law firm that will be in the front of that building. There will be nothing in the back at this point. It will only be the front part. I don't have exact dates as far as when I'm gonna get the office opened, but my guess will be sometime in early 2025.
Is there any board questions? Is there any public questions? Yes, ma'am. Come up and state your name and
You need to come up to the microphone, please.
speak your mic, please.
Patricia McCula, 650 Springfield Road. I'm concerned about what kind of a law office will be going in there. If it's a criminal law, no way. So I'd like to know what kind of law office you have in mind.
Yes. My practice is exclusively what they refer to as elder law. I do Medicaid planning for individuals that are in nursing homes. We help them get qualified for Medicaid benefits, and we help them protect and preserve their assets. So it's similar to estate planning, elderly clientele and their family trying to get help that are in nursing homes. That's all that I do, and that's all that will be done in that part of that office. Again, I don't have any plans in the back yet. If something comes up, obviously I would be back here for the back part, but I'm really worried just about the front part at this point. But no criminal law.
Any issues up here?
What are we changing? Just changing.
We're just a conditional zoning,
Because it's R1.
because it's R1.
All that debacle happened.
Mm-hmm.
That mess.
Right.
Yeah, that mess.
So we're leaving it R1?
Yeah, we'll leave it R1 with a conditional use.
All right, I'm with you. Okay.
Just so you understand, this issue came before Planning Commission, before Mr. Rodfong had purchased property. And we went through this same process at that time.
Does that take care of all the R1 in that area then?
Well, since it was now he's purchased it, we have to go through the same procedure again, which means it still needs to be conditional use, conditional zoning certificate. And now it has to be approved for Mr. Rodfong as the owner of the property or his LLC.
So is he coming, did you say he's coming back for another use, or we just, this will take care of it?
Well, then we'll do this. Site plan review after.
Yeah, this basically takes care of step one, which is the
Okay.
conditional zoning certificate.
I'm with
He
you.
still has to do a site plan review.
Okay.
So at this time, I'd like to close
Yes, sir. Figure out public.
for the public hearing for the conditional zoning certificate application for TLX Properties LLC, 625 Springfield Road for a law office. Next item, site plan review, TLX Properties LLC, 625 Springfield Road Law.
Don't we have to vote?
We need to vote on the conditional zoning.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve the conditional zoning certificate application presented by TLX Properties.
Have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. So Deanne, when you're ready.
Scott,
Yes.
Bobby,
Yes.
Ted,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Okay, next item is a site plan review, TLX Properties LLC, 625 Springfield Road for law. Well, you can come back up, but we basically know what you want to do.
If you're familiar with that building, front part is on Springfield Road, but then there's a back part that goes back. You really can't even see it from the road. You have to get behind the building. The back is gonna stay unoccupied, and at this point, there's no plans to do anything there now. So it will only be the front part that faces Springfield Road where my office will be located.
Okay,
So you bought all this property then around it?
Yes.
What is, 2-3 acres?
Yeah, I think it's a
1.2.
little bit over 1.5 or
One
close to
and a half,
1.5 acres, I believe.
okay. All right, yeah, I didn't realize that back building was even there.
You can't see it.
No.
It's deceiving.
Yeah, I didn't know it was even there.
Dr.
Do
Smith
you-
was there.
Yeah.
What size
Was
staff
actually
are
added
you
on.
thinking about right now?
Probably 4 people total, max. That's what I have now, and that's what it would carry over to. I'm gonna be keeping 2 offices open at first. So at least initially, there'll be some moving, some people up in Boardman, some people here in Columbiana, but the maximum it would be is 4.
Do the majority of your clients come to the site, or do you? Yeah, you're talking about elderly, so I'm wondering if you do some of your business wherever they are located.
Typically not. We're usually dealing with the powers of attorney, which would be a healthy family member or a child or children. So we typically have meetings at the office. Okay. Yeah, sometimes not, but most of the time that we do.
Any other questions? Somebody like to make a motion?
I move to approve this site plan for TLX Properties.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
I have a motion and a second. Deanne, when you're ready.
Bobby,
Yes.
Ted,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Is there any public comments? Anybody in the public like to make a comment? Any commission comments? I will make the motion. Go ahead.
Codified ordinance that they have listed on the certified letter I got from my home.
I don't know what you got for a letter, so I can't tell you that.
So section 1270.02 and 1266, Mark.
1266 is the conditional zoning certificate section. 1270.02 is uses within an R1 district. So
So we have a say.
So if Mr. Rod Fong decides to do something in the back, which was an added on medical office, yes, he'll need to come back. You'll get the same type of notice for the same type of hearing.
You can read that online, that the code. It's in AM legal.
AM legal.
AM legal.
And you, if you go www.amlegal, you click on Ohio, and then
Click
all
on
the communities that
Click on
have.
Columbiana and
Now
then
you look up
can read-
Columbiana,
You can
and it's
read the
pretty
ordinance.
simple to follow. It's
You
pretty.
can find it.
Yes.
Yeah, not too hard. Some of us look at it a lot.
It is interesting though, if you want to know, something, you can look it up. Any other comments? Thanks again. Appreciate it, your comments. I make a motion to adjourn. Meeting adjourned.